With the Fox 45 news feed, it's 11 a.m. and we are on weather alert. The air quality is downright dangerous due to smoke from those Canadian wildfires. Coming up, meteorologist Justin Chambers will share when rain will arrive and help clear things up a bit. And growing concerns about crime in the city. Police leadership is touting a drop in violent crime, but do those numbers tell the whole story? We'll take a deep dive into the data. And we are still a full year away from the 2024 election, but campaign spending is already breaking records. We'll look at who is spending the most. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Shannon Lilly. We begin with a weather alert. The air quality is downright dangerous due to smoke from those Canadian wildfires. For a closer look at who's being impacted and how long the threat will last, let's go straight to meteorologist Justin Chambers.
Yes, we are under the weather alert day today. Unhealthy air quality. We've seen the smoke from those Canadian wildfires move in all morning long, and it really is not going to get much better, at least through the afternoon on Thursday. You want to limit your time outdoors for sure. We have that code red air quality alert, kind of rare, but it's for the entire state from western Maryland all the way out toward the eastern shore, and that puts it in that air quality alert where it could be in the dangerous category if you have to be outside. So this is going to be more of an indoors day, not because of the rain, but because of all that smoke. And temps are not too bad, mid to upper 80s as we take you into the later part of the afternoon, which is about average for this time of year. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll take a look at when some of those smoky conditions will improve, especially as we head toward the weekend.
All right, Justin, thanks. And stay with Fox 45 News. Our team of meteorologists will be keeping track of the smoke and the air quality throughout the night. Meteorologist Jasmine Lomax will continue to track the air quality alert. We're following breaking news from the Supreme Court. The court ruling just this morning, colleges and universities must stop considering race when it comes to admitting students. In a 6-3 decision, the court struck down admissions plans at Harvard and the University of North Carolina. The move will force schools to look for new ways to achieve diversity. And we're following breaking news in a city in crisis. The NAACP is calling for a national search as the city looks to hire a new police commissioner. Well, you'll recall Commissioner Harrison announced earlier this month that he's stepping down. The mayor then appointed Deputy Commissioner Rich Worley as acting police commissioner. Well, the Baltimore NAACP is now expressing concern about how the city is filling the position. The group is gathering outside police headquarters right now, and they are calling for a national search for a permanent police commissioner. Stay with Fox 45 News for the very latest on the search for a new police commissioner. Our Alexa Ashwell was there for today's call to action, and she will have a full report coming up today at 4 p.m. Now, for his part, former police commissioner Michael Harrison is touting the success of his administration. In an op-ed in the Baltimore Sun, he points to a reduction in murders and shootings compared to this time last year. But some experts say it's just too early to celebrate success.
I don't think much progress has been made on the crime fighting front. We're just 6 months into the year, and we're in the year following a record high year. So you are going to see fluctuation. You are going to see pullbacks.
Well, the former police commissioner says violent crimes are down across the city 16% since he took office 4 years ago. But a deeper look at the numbers shows it's just not that straightforward. In fact, carjackings and robberies are surging right now in the city, with more than 200 carjackings for the year and more than 1,400 robberies. And that has some questioning just how effective the crime fight has been.
He can pick and choose and cherry pick kind of what his successes and failures were. People forget that the first half of 2022 was the most violent in Baltimore's history.
We've clearly lost control of the criminal system in Baltimore City. They're going to have to bring back safety to folks that live downtown, to rebuild the downtown area. Our folks aren't going to go back.
That was U.S. Senate hopeful David Trone there. The Democratic congressman pointing to the number of residents and businesses leaving the city. In fact, just yesterday, Giant Foods told Fox 45 News they're considering closing locations in and around Baltimore and D.C. because of theft and violence. Here's our look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one. The Maryland Supreme Court will hear appeals from the family of Hayman Lee as well as Adnan Syed about the on and off reinstatement of Syed's murder conviction. Last year, under Marilyn Mosby's leadership, Syed was released from prison when the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office requested his conviction for Lee's murder be vacated. It was then reinstated after an appellate court ruled Lee's brother was not given enough notification of the hearing. Arguments will be made October 5th. Trending number 2, when it comes to the BGE lawsuit in Baltimore, more than 100 customers are taking a win over the company's installation of external gas regulators. A judge grants a temporary restraining order on work being done at homes where owners have not consented to the installation. Gas service must also be restored where it was shut off. The restraining order lasts 10 days. BGE says it will comply and explains further in a statement to FOX45 News. Trending number 3, a procession for a fallen firefighter begins at the medical examiner's office in Baltimore. His colleagues from across the state lined streets all the way back to Leonardtown. Bryce Trosbach was responding to a house fire in St. Mary's County when the floor beneath him gave way Tuesday. His fellow firefighters were able to pull him from the rubble, but he died later from his injuries. Another firefighter was injured in that same collapse, but is expected to recover. Download the FOX45 News app for up-to-the-minute traffic conditions, breaking news, and weather anytime. Just search WBFF in your app store. Well, still ahead, the pandemic gave way to a new workplace trend, you'll remember, called quiet quitting. Well, now workers are taking a new approach. We'll tell you about loud quitting coming up. A battle over Pride Month is brewing at Starbucks. The new clarification the company is offering coming up. And new developments in the search for the Titan sub. The new debris crews just uncovered.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
This morning, more than 80 million Americans, including Marylanders, are under a code red air quality alert. This is because of smoke from Canada's wildfires, and it's the second time just this month. Before that, the last time we saw an event like this was 17 years ago. When it comes to the heat, nearly 90 million Americans from the South to the Midwest are under heat alerts as several daily record highs could be broken this week. In just a few minutes, meteorologist Justin Chambers will have a first look at your Weather Alert Day forecast. Now it's time to take a look at your social stream. The ad wars are heating up in the 2024 presidential race, with all campaigns and outside groups spending a total of nearly $70 million. That's nearly double what had been spent at this point in last presidential cycle during a competitive Democratic primary. This year, Donald Trump's super PAC, Ron DeSantis' super PAC, Tim Scott and his super PAC, and Doug Burgum account for over half of that total. So people are talking about this. This user says, it's June, a year before the actual election. I can't do this. It's certainly going to get intense. Here's another one. The 2024 campaign ads are going to be wild. Well, the U.S. Coast Guard says presumed human remains have been recovered from within the wreckage of the Titan submersible. Medical professionals in the U.S. will now conduct a formal analysis. The Titanic-bound vessel imploded nearly a week ago in the North Atlantic, killing all 5 men on board. This person saying just how sad for the families. And this user, though, a little bit skeptical, says at that depth and if it imploded, there would not be any human remains. But I think we'll leave that to the experts. Starbucks says it will provide more clear guidelines regarding in-store pride decorations. Earlier this month, the union representing the baristas claimed the company is limiting employees' ability to display pride-related items. That led some workers to go on strike in dozens of locations over the past few days, causing at least 7 Starbucks to be shut down on Tuesday. So this person says the first pride was a riot. This time it's a strike. It's a coffee store. Why are they making it so complicated? Still ahead, it was like he was flying private. Coming up, how one man managed to score an entire commercial plane all to himself. And it is induction day in Annapolis. We'll take you there as the class of 2027 takes their first steps into a life of service. And coming up at noon, it's Karamo. Then at 1, it's Sherry, followed by Hot Bench at 2. It's 11:12. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. We are back taking a live look over Towson there. Look at it, it's so gray outside. And a warning if you are heading out, we're under weather alert for a code red air quality alert. This is all due to that smoke from those Canadian wildfires, which is crazy. I mean, you can see that right there. So who should stay inside today during the code red air quality alert besides sensitive groups? Well, everybody should remain inside, but sensitive groups such as children, the elderly, and those with asthma and heart or lung disease should take extra precaution. The impacts of air pollution can be minimized by avoiding strenuous activity or exercise outdoors. Happening today, the U.S. Naval Academy is welcoming the new members of the class of 2027. As Olivia Dance shows us, Induction Day is just the start of a life of service.
Induction Day is underway, and right now we're inside Alumni Hall, where the incoming class of 2027 has already started the transition process. I want to go ahead, though, and bring in Ensign Annabelle Powers. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so it's loud. There's a lot going on behind us. Tell us what part of the process this is.
Yes, so the almost queens just finished their haircuts, so all of the guys got a fully shaved head, and they're just changing into their uniforms. And so this station right here is where they're learning how to salute for the first time, as well as the 5 basic responses. So these basic responses are the only things they are allowed summer.
Wow.
Yes, no excuses, aye, and I'll find out. And they're learning these basic responses, and they're learning how to properly salute with their new covers that they just got. So this is a very special, very powerful moment. Joining the military, learning how to salute. This is where it happens. This is where I learned how to first salute. So they're going to start that, and then they're going to move into banquet hall, and that's where they'll begin finding their rooms, unpacking, getting ready for the summer.
Salute for the first time. It's pretty incredible to see that. And as I mentioned, it's loud. You can hear that it's loud. There's lots of yelling. What is the importance of the yelling? What are they yelling?
Yeah, so yelling, it's really just creating an environment of intensity. So pressure with a purpose. So just adding that element of speed and just being able to go get the task done, have different things flying at you, all different commands, but being able to just focus on the task at hand and just complete it.
Now, you graduated recently. Congratulations. But you were in this position 4 years ago. So what is it like for you being here today and seeing the position that you were in 4 years ago and actually helping that incoming class?
Yes, definitely. So class of 27, so happy they're here. But being back here, same uniform, same place, same environment. It's pretty sentimental, but also rewarding that I was here 4 years ago and I went through this process and just learned so much about leadership and how to treat other people and had the best friends I could ever ask for. So being on the other side of that and seeing all these people and the class of 27 coming in is just an insane experience right now.
I can only imagine. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I really appreciate it. And the oath of office ceremony is starting at 6 tonight, but there are several steps that they have to go through before they get there. We're watching some of that unfold behind us right now. So it's an emotional but very exciting day. For now, reporting in Annapolis, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News, Midday.
So exciting. Thank you, Olivia. Well, making headlines this morning, support for former President Trump among Republicans has dipped slightly. In a new poll from the Associated Press, 60% of Republican respondents said they have a favorable view of Trump. That's down from 68% in April. The poll also found 38% of Republicans surveyed had an unfavorable view of the former president. That's up from 30% in April's poll. Coming up on the Fox 45 News at 4, the NAACP is calling for a national search, the latest on the fallout from Michael Harrison's departure. Then at 5, to avoid going into debt, he had to change where he went to college. The massive impact Maryland 529's failures has had on one student. And at 6, he says it's his Al Capone style of law enforcement that's driving down crime, talking one-on-one with U.S. Attorney Eric Barron about Baltimore's crime fight. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and your forecast all in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, just tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. All right, we're turning back now to that weather alert. Smoke from the Canadian wildfires is once again making it dangerous to be outside here. On the left, we are taking you live to Ontario, Canada, where the wildfires continue to rage on. On the right there, a live look over the Inner Harbor in Towson as we continue to track this code red alert. Now, for a closer look at how long it's going to last, let's get straight over to meteorologist Justin Chambers.
Our weather alert day for the code red air quality alert. Look at this map, the entire state of Maryland and the D.C. metro area under that code red air quality alert. Now, you hear about code red sometimes in Baltimore City. That's usually for the heat when we have to deal with days that are in those mid to upper 90s and heat index values that are in the triple digits. Not the case today. This is all for air quality, and that's what the weather alert day is for. The smoke from the wildfires in Canada continue to be moving into the area all morning long. We've seen that air quality deteriorate. You want to limit your time outdoors, try to do indoor stuff today. This is the air quality index. You heard us talk about the AQI. So typically we're in that good to moderate range, but days like yesterday, we were in that code orange for unhealthy conditions for sensitive groups. Well, it's unhealthy for a lot of us today, especially could be some serious effects for the sensitive groups, including those with heart and lung disease, asthma, children, and the elderly. That's what you have to watch for today. But again, a lot more of us are in on that with that smoke that's around. Here's a a look at our future smoke graphic and our weather model. And you can see through noon and into the next couple of hours, continuing to track more of that smoke that's going to be hanging around. We just don't have a lot of wind to be able to move this stuff on. On Friday, it does look to see a little bit of an improvement, especially as we get into Friday morning. But by Friday afternoon, we are tracking another weather maker that's going to bring a change in terms of the weather pattern, and that will bring us a better chance of some better air quality. Hour by hour forecast, mid to upper 80s as we take you into the afternoon for today. And you can see those high temperatures, some of us in the lower 80s for Westminster and Bel Air, out to Cockeysville at 85, 85 in Chestertown, lower 80s in Annapolis, and mid to upper 80s for D.C. and Baltimore up into Philly. Now, here's that ridge of high pressure. That stagnant air is because that ridge is just kind of hanging around. As we get into Friday, we get more of an area of low pressure from the south, and that's going to bring in some more of that southerly wind. That's going to help to push that smoke back to the north. And then on Saturday, we'll kind of keep that trend going, even though we do bring in that chance for a couple of more showers and pop-up thunderstorms, especially into Saturday afternoon and evening time. And then another round of some isolated storms is going to be possible on Sunday. So here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Weather alert day for today, right about 90 on Friday. We'll be in the upper 80s into Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll keep those lower 90s going as we head toward next week. 4th of July right now looks dry with temperatures right in the lower 90s.
All right, Justin, thanks. And stay with Fox 45 News because our team of meteorologists will be keeping track of the smoke and the air quality all throughout the night. Meteorologist Jasmine Lomax will continue to track the air quality alert as your day continues. Still ahead, UPS drivers are threatening to strike. The demands workers are making, that's coming up. And United Airlines facing a big scheduling issue just as the 4th of July travel starts to kick off. The requests the company is making coming up. A big night of your favorite TV shows. First at 8, it's Alert. Then at 9, it's Stars on Mars. And then it's Fox 45 News at 10 and the late edition at 11. It's 11:22. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. All right, don't miss this. As the 4th of July travel rush kicks off today, United Airlines is calling all hands on deck. Since Saturday, the airline has canceled more flights than any other airline. FlightAware claims more than 2,400 United flights have been canceled and over 5,500 have been delayed. By the end of this week, the UPS could see its workers walk out. Contract negotiations are underway, with workers asking for air-conditioned vehicles, longer breaks, and higher wages. The union says the company has until tomorrow to give its final and best offer. DoorDash is trying to make work more appetizing for its delivery drivers. The company says they will now have the option to be paid an hourly minimum wage instead of earning money for each order they deliver. Well, it's time now for your lunch break, and there's nothing better than getting on a flight and realizing you have the whole row to yourself. Well, now let's imagine the whole plane. It happened to one North Carolina man.
And loaded all the bags on the plane. How many bags you have to load today, bro?
Well, the flight was supposed to leave at 6 a.m. Sunday, but was delayed multiple times and didn't take off until after midnight the next morning. By then, all the other passengers had booked other flights. That is, except Phil Stinger. He posted a video of his solo flight on TikTok showing how the flight crew did the whole safety demonstration just for him.
Tablets, cell phones, and smartwatches all need to be placed in airplane mode at this time, sir.
And they literally asked me, they said, you better watch our safety. Like when they did the overhead announcements, they'd be like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're, preparing, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, he'd say, and yes, Phil, we're only speaking to you.
That's amazing. Well, Stinger's TikTok was viewed more than 3 million times in less than a day. Well, that's all the time we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Here's what's coming up next.
That's right. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so that's right. Make sure you stick around. Online debate about what exactly is cheating and what's not. We'll talk about that coming up on Be More Lifestyle next.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
What's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. I'm joined today by Kramer and Jess from Mix 106.5. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, let me tell you right now, quiet quitting became a common thing during the pandemic, but now some workers are going a different direction. A new Gallup poll finds 18% of workers are in the process of loud quitting. That's when employees take actions that directly undercut or harm a company's goals. Gallup polls also found that nearly 59% of employees are still quiet quitting. Okay, guys, what do you think about loud? I'm sick of this. I'm out here.
Both of these terms annoy me. Quiet or loud or whatever. Just quit.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be there, you can just quit. Just don't just be like, at this point, is loud quitting just like being lazy, right? Like you're just not doing your job at that point.
Well, Mark, back in the day, you remember this. We just had quitting. You quit. There wasn't loud. There wasn't quiet. The kids nowadays, they're making this too difficult. You just quit.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. My middle child had her first job, and the conversations alone, like I mean, a part-time job, and you guys knew that working in radio. When you work part-time in our field, you're supposed to be on call and ready at any time. My daughter is like, she calls off for like, I got a nail appointment. My ears need to be clipped. I mean, it's like, I'm like, I don't even understand the workers now, but I guess they have different options than back in the day, you know?
Kids these days.
Kids these days. But what we found out is when you start part-time and you're a good worker, it seems like a full-time situation always falls into your lap if you hang around, right?
Yes.
But anyway, that's the quitters. Now, making a cup of coffee seems simple enough, right? Well, it turns out you may be doing it all wrong, depending on who you ask. Here's the debate. When to put in your cream or sugar? Do you do it before or after you put coffee in your cup? While most add creamer in last, some argue you should do it first, so when you pour in the coffee, it naturally blends in the creamer. This is the kind of hard-hitting stuff we do on this show that catapults our ratings to the top, just like Kramer and Jess. So I'm curious, Jess, you look like you'd be a put it in first gal.
Am I weird if it depends on the cup that I'm using?
Wait a minute.
I swear to you. So if it's in a to-go cup, I always put the creamer in first because I'm in a hurry and I don't have time to stir. But when I'm at home, like on Sunday, my favorite thing is to pour in the coffee first and then stir it with a spoon because it feels more homey to me. Wow. Is that bizarre?
Now, why is Kramer laughing at you, Jess?
I don't know. I mean, this is a very true.
He gave you, like, he's better than you laugh. He's like,
like he always does.
No, I'm an after. I'm totally an after because, like, how do you know how much space you have left in your mug? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, I don't know why. You're not busy enough to, like, not put yourself in afterwards.
It's like 3:45 in the morning. You're just like,
it doesn't take any more time if it's before or after. The reason I laugh, though, is because we were debating this morning on our show if ketchup belongs in the refrigerator or in the pantry. So we're same hard-hitting news this week.
Did you guys both say refrigerator?
Yes.
Wow, and we did it on our show too. So see, great minds think alike. We want you to tell it, okay? We want you to tell it. Vote on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When do you put creamer in your coffee? When you get to the website, make sure you click on the Lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. At the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Now, how far is too far? There's a new debate online about what's being called micro-cheating. Those on TikTok say there's often a clear line couples shouldn't cross when it comes to physical cheating, but emotional cheating can be harder to decipher. Users are bringing up things like confiding in another person that your partner or following an ex on social media. This is interesting because I feel like you guys have been together so long that I think you have crossed that line as far as you know a lot about each other's lives. You tell a lot about each other's lives. What do you guys think? Is that micro cheating or is it just like a part of like what you do?
You know,
Yes.
Well, I mean, but it's a good point because, you know, especially like with, you know, we've been friends now for 9 years. And so like off the air, she may tell me something about her relationship with her boyfriend or fiance garage boy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's cheating if you tell, like, if you're like sharing secrets?
I feel like there's a difference between confiding and talking trash. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like talking trash is friendly, like you do with your friend, kind of like venting. You know what I mean? And I think there's a difference between like confiding where like, why don't you feel comfortable with talking to your partner about that?
Well, I think the new hubby's going to find out. And I think you know all about Kramer's little dirty secrets, too.
Yo. Whoa, Mark.
Yeah, I have a lot of tea. Like at any moment, I can just hit the red button if anybody wants receipts.
How long
you know what I mean?
How long do we have in this segment? We can talk. We got all kind of secrets.
We got all kind of secrets. Well, hey, you know what, you guys? First of all, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out this amazing team, this is Baltimore's team. Guys, thanks for joining us as always, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Okay.
Thank you.
Still ahead, there's truly an app for everything. Coming up, the new easy way to schedule home repairs without the headache. But first, say goodbye to gray hair. Oh, okay. Coming up, the new way to make them disappear without breaking the bank. Stick around.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Gray hair is a natural part of aging, but for many, it's a blow to self-esteem. Julie Moran is here with the money-saving deal on a product to make those gray hairs disappear. Okay.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
As we get older, there's a problem we all deal with, a little bit of gray hair. And going to the salon is expensive and it takes time. Well, I have a solution for you that you can use at home. It's called True Hair. And I love this because it extends those salon appointments. What you do, it's very easy. I get a little gray on the side right here. I can pop that in. Or if you want a larger area, you just go inside the part. This brush will go completely where you want it to go. It's not messy. I love it. You can do it after every shampoo and it stays put. And I like it better than the sprays that kind of get everywhere. And it looks really natural. There's no fussing. There's no back combing. It just gives a coverage and it makes your hair look fuller. And I use it in areas that are large or small. And I just think it's great to have an at-home solution. And getting your hair colored, as I said, is expensive. But most of all, what I don't like, it's time consuming. So this will extend your salon visits by maybe 3 weeks. And you can choose your color. True Hair has 10 different colors, so you can actually match. And right now we're offering 29% off on True Hair. Head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Front Door.
It's no surprise that home maintenance and repairs are costly and time-consuming, and it's becoming even more challenging than ever to find the right pro. Front Door CEO Bill Cobb and CMO Kathy Collins join us now to share the one-of-a-kind features available via a newly launched home maintenance and repair app. Welcome. How are you?
Great.
We're doing great, Mark. Awesome. Well, you look amazing. So what are the top repair challenges homeowners face?
Well, homeowners face a variety of challenges, which is why we built this app in a way that covers anything. It could be electrical, it could be plumbing, it could be heating and cooling, it could be appliances, and we even have a handyman category. So what we've done is we've designed an app. We've hired a bunch of experts. Live experts are standing by to help you in their particular area. These are people who have an average of 20 years experience. They've come in off the road, if you will. to be there and available to help you with your specific needs against those major home systems. And Kathy, do you want to explain what those are?
Absolutely. So if you think about it, being a homeowner, something's always going to go wrong in your house. So what do? That's the big question. That's the biggest challenge for people, is where do I turn when my dishwasher stops working, or my ice maker is not making ice, or I hear a hissing sound. You go to your Front Door app, and in real time, we will connect you with an expert in that area. And what happens is the expert's goal is to walk you through a fix. And if it's too complicated, there are other potential outcomes. They might send you to a hardware store to get a part, to replace a part. And if that's still not going to work, they will provide a list of vetted, pre-qualified contractors in your area that you can choose to come out and repair the item for you. But the idea is this is comprehensive. You're connected to an expert, and we're going to get you a fix.
We have an ability to not only do the video chats and give you all sorts of discount and maintenance tips, but also we just launched a new product called Front Door Premium, which is a membership, and it's an annual membership. It's the coverage plan, your home service plan, where we'll come and do the repairs for you. We're there. It's only $29 a month. It's a terrific value through the end of July. And we're just excited to be able to offer that as part of the overall app and all the things that we can do with that app.
I love it. So where can our viewers go to learn more?
You can go to the website, which is frontdoor.com, or you can go to Google Play or the App Store and download the app. And when you download the app, of course, it's free. You just put in a couple lines of information to be registered, and everybody gets one free video chat with an expert. So once you register, you are off and running.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us and sharing this great information. All right, still ahead, talking about advocating for your health, how knowing what's in your medical charts can help you live a fuller life. And when it comes to heart health, it's not just older adults we should think about, but student athletes too, the steps you can take to help keep players safe.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by American Heart Association.
Sudden cardiac arrest can strike at any time. It could happen to between 7 and 23,000 youth under the age of 18 each year. And student athletes are more than 3.5 times as likely to experience sudden cardiac arrest than non-athletes. Cardiologist Dr. Anezi Uzendu joins us now to discuss what we can do to save lives in the event of cardiac arrest. Doc, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. So why is it so important to know CPR?
CPR saves lives. So CPR is cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and we use it when someone suffers a cardiac arrest. In a cardiac arrest, someone's heart just stops beating. So there's no blood flow going to the brain, other vital organs delivering oxygen, delivering nutrients to sustain life. And so that person's essentially dying. With CPR, what you're doing is you're actually externally becoming that person's heartbeat, pressing on the heart and recirculating that blood so that they can continue to have blood flow and increase the chance of survival.
And what's the Access to AEDs Act, and how will it save lives?
Yeah, so the Access to AEDs Act is going to help ensure that our schools are safe. And so an AED is an automated external defibrillator and is used to shock the heart back into rhythm when it stops. I kind of think of it as a jump starter for the heart. And so this act is going to make sure that there's funding available for schools to purchase and maintain AEDs. Also, there will be funding for teaching students CPR and how to use an AED. And also there will be funding for schools to actually create cardiac arrest emergency response plans so that if a student or a staff member suffers a cardiac arrest, there's a plan in place to intervene and help save their life.
And so how can families prepare for cardiac arrest emergencies this summer?
Yeah, so to make sure that, going into the school year that they're safe and their children are safe, I would ask that they text AED to the number 46839. Again, AED to the number 46839. And when they do that, they'll be partnering with the American Heart Association to support this legislation as it passes through Congress. The other step would be to go to the heart.org website to learn about cardiac arrest and hands-only CPR so that they can learn the skill set and everyone else in their family can learn the skill set to help save a life, so that if, as we're going out into summer and people participate in sports and camps and all that all those sorts of activities, they have the skill set available to save a life in the event that someone suffers a cardiac arrest.
Well, Doctor, thank you so much for this great information. Appreciate it.
Weather alert day continues for the unhealthy air quality. The smoke from the Canadian wildfires affecting millions of people across the U.S., including us right here at home in central Maryland and throughout most of the mid-Atlantic. You want to limit your time outdoors on Thursday because of that code red air quality alert. This is something that hasn't happened in about 17 years, and we've already seen it. Today will be the second time in the month of June. If you remember earlier this month, we had that really bad air quality with those fires and the smoke rolling in, and it's looking like it's going to stay this way through at least August in terms of the smoke coming in from Canada, because those wildfires are just not contained. There's more than 400 of them in Canada alone. Now, the air quality index in the unhealthy category today, it's going to get above 151 for particulate matter. When it gets to that 151 to 200 category, that's when you have health effects for some members of the general public, but serious effects for the sensitive group. So that means a lot more of us impacted, and that's why we're in weather alert for today. In terms of our future smoke model, we are looking to see that smoke stay around through most of the day today and tonight. On Friday, we'll see a little bit of an improvement. We're looking to possibly go back into a code orange on Friday, but that smoke will still be with us at least through Friday evening. By Saturday and Sunday, we're looking for some improving air quality. Hour by hour forecast, mid to upper 80s. You can see those numbers climbing as we head toward the afternoon, which is typical for this time of year. Late June, we're typically in the upper 80s, so pretty close to that number. Some of us even in the lower 80s for Westminster and Bel Air. Normally, I'd say it would be a great day to be outside, but just today is not the day, my friends. We got to stay inside and stay safe, with mid 80s for Chestertown and Stevensville, and 82 across the Bay Bridge in Annapolis, even 87 in D.C. this afternoon, and 85 in Philly, 75 if you're heading down the ocean for Ocean City. So our future scan, the ridge of high pressure kind of keeping us dry, but also stagnant with really no movement in the to upper levels of the atmosphere. As we head into Friday afternoon, we'll see more of that southerly flow, and that will help to push some of that smoke out. Also a chance for a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Friday afternoon. Another round rolls in on Saturday, but it will be more of the isolated variety through that 3 and 4 o'clock hour. Possible delays for some of those O's games coming up this weekend against the Twins. And then Sunday, still going to see the potential for a couple of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms as well before we dry out early next week. That 10-day forecast, so weather alert day 4 today, 90 on Friday, then upper 80s into Saturday and Sunday. We keep those 90s going into the middle of next week, which includes the 4th on Tuesday.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Total Healthcare.
This past Tuesday was National HIV Testing Day. We're joined now by Mark Baker of Total Healthcare to discuss the importance of this holiday and how it was celebrated. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. So tell us about what you do and what drew you to the work of advocacy and community engagement in healthcare.
Well, in my role here at Total Healthcare, I am the linkage to care supervisor, and under my supervision, I manage all of our internal HIV and Hep C testing and all of our community HIV and Hep C testing, and also supervise our PrEP, our pre-exposure prophylaxis activities here at Total Healthcare, and some of our community engagement activities at Total.
Mark, what's the significance of National HIV Testing Day?
Well, to me, every day should be National HIV Testing Day. But when we look at the CDC data of undiagnosed HIV in persons living in the United States, they estimate it's about 13% of the population that's walking around in the United States with undiagnosed HIV. And in the state of Maryland, they estimate there's about 10.1% of Marylanders that's walking around here with undiagnosed HIV. So on this particular day, we would like to get everybody in and get them tested.
And what are the conversations?
So everyone will know this.
And what are the conversations needed to end the HIV epidemic?
Well, I think first we need to look at advancing health equity by scaling up key HIV prevention and treatment strategies, such as treatment as prevention, which is undetectable equals untransmittable. That means if you are diagnosed with HIV, getting you in care so we can get your viral load undetectable, so you won't spread the virus to other individuals, and also looking at other preventive measures such as PrEP, which is our pre-exposure prophylaxis medication to prevent individuals who are HIV negative to keep them from becoming HIV positive, and PEP. So if you were out on the weekend or a night and you had unprotected a sexual encounter with someone, there's a medication that we call post-exposure prophylaxis, and it has to be taken within 72 hours of the encounter. And you can go to any emergency room here or any healthcare facility here in Baltimore and Maryland and get on this particular drug to keep you from getting HIV.
Mark, what's the greatest knowledge gap when it comes to testing that could remove stigma?
Well, I think when it comes to testing, I think people think it's going to be this big blood draw. With testing science have gotten so sensitive and so easy now. We can prick your finger, do a blood drop, and give you your results in 3 to 5 minutes. And we also have a oral HIV test and I think we might have demonstrated it on one of your shows a couple of months back. And you get your test within 20 minutes, easy breezy, and you get your results the same day.
Mark, where can we go for more information?
You can contact me at Total Healthcare. My email address is mbaker@totalhealthcare.org, and my direct work cell is 443-858-3380.
Mark, always great to see you, man.
Nice seeing you as well.
All right, take care. Still ahead, the latest coffee trends dividing the internet. Coming up, we'll look at a new debate over when to put cream Making a cup of coffee, it seems simple enough, right? Well, here's the debate. When to put in your creamer or sugar? Do you do it before or after you put coffee in your cup? While most add creamer in last, some argue you should do it first, so when you put the coffee in, it naturally blends the creamer. Okay, we wanted you to tell it. When do you put creamer in your coffee? Most of you are saying after pouring the coffee. I'm with you on that. Great show lined up for tomorrow. The 4th of July is next week, which means it's time to fire up that grill. Coming up, we'll share some recipes that will impress your guests.
Find out how to have your business featured on Be More Lifestyle. Email us at BeMoreLifestyleTV@FoxBaltimore.com.
And as always, thank you for inviting us into your home. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you follow Be More Lifestyle on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those platforms. Also follow me at